big show for you today. Big show. I'm your host, King David MMA. Today we're going to talk about how Merab Devashvili, the UFC champion, and I were at Brand Risk MMA and we got clip farmed. People came up. They clip farmed us, guys. They clip farmed me and Merab. People are texting me about it. People are calling me about it. People want to know what happened. And yeah, we're going to get into all of that. Plus, there was also clips circulating of me, Merab, and Raul Rosas Jr. We're going to get into that clip because there needs to be some context added. And then also at Brand Risk MMA, Ray J of Kim Kardashian fame was hospitalized. So that's a big update. He was in the hospital as recently as 7 hours ago, and he plans on performing music again one day if he can make it out of the hospital, which he had heart issues going into the fight. He was very public about his heart issues. He got sanctioned to fight anyway. Now there's talk of big lawsuits, big problems with commission, Ray J, and Brand Risk. I hope it's not true. We're going to get into all of that. Plus, a little bit of a reaction to Strickland bouncing out and how I think that reflects on MMA in general, Strickland in particular, and more importantly, in Brand Risk moving forward in the future. Plus, Dana spoke about Brand Risk, and Dana and his crew rented out the UFC Apex to Aiden Ross and Brand Risk for $1.5 million. And Brendan Schaub is absolutely livid about it. He is pissed off, guys. He is pissed off. All right, guys, let me check the chat real quick. Arpon the Don is in the chat. He said real ones are in the chat. Speaking of real ones, you can get your real one shirt. I'm going to drop the link and we're going to get right into it. Also, send your coach to Studio Millions. Studio Millions will get them right. I'm trying to be the most sponsored athlete on the planet. So I like money and I like being sponsored. Speaking of things I like, I'm on this right now, guys. I've been drinking fuck ton of these. You might wake up with 4 energy drinks and then you just pound these the rest of the day. This has got 34 milligrams of caffeine. It's from Whole Foods. It's got 0 calories. It's got caramel coloring in it, which is not ideal. But guess what, man? You pick your battles, right? We're about to get into it. Let me take a sip of this caffeine. And while I do that, tap the like button. It feels so good when you do. It'll change colors. It'll do a little animation for you. You'll feel good inside. You'll get a hit of dopamine. You'll know you did something well, something good. You made me happy, and I'm going to appreciate you for it. So tap the like button, drop a chat, and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Do I look cooked, guys? Do I look cooked and chopped right now? I mean, the jawline's in there, but freaking A, man. Today was freaking crazy. Didn't even have time to shave up properly. I got little patches and stuff. Look, anyways, we're going to get into it. So Merab and I got clip farmed by Henry Cejudo's coach, Coach Eric they call him Captain Eric, at the Brand Risk event while Merab was doing his first kick stream. So when we pulled up to Brand Risk, it was like fucking high security. Everybody had to check in and get a wristband. There was no just walking in like, oh, hey, you're a famous former UFC world champion. You just walk right in. No, man. So it's kind of fucked up, man. They think about this. It's a fucking freak show event. They have disabled people fighting. It's really fucking wild. And then they got Merab in fucking line, waiting on a wristband. You know what I'm saying? Could we show the man some respect? Let's start with that. Maybe if you've won a UFC title, you get to just walk the fuck in to the freak show event with the little people fighting and the fucking special needs dudes fighting and the drug addicts fighting. Maybe just out of respect for the game, you let the fucking former UFC world champion walk through the front door. But what do I know? Anyway, so bumped into Merab up there. And so there's a clip going around, which I'm going to circle back to this because this part is important, but this plays in later in the story. So there's a clip going around where Captain Eric pulls up on me while I'm talking to Merab. Well, what's not shown is right before that. I'm trolling, kind of playing around with Merab because he's got his kick stream going, right? And I'm like, oh, let's do some funny content or whatever. So I know Merab likes to wrestle, and I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a pro MMA champion. My name's King David MMA, by the way. I'm your host for the evening. So nice to have you here with me. And so I'm playing on the meme of like never pull guard in MMA. We're on the concrete. We're in public. We're at a brand risk event. Everybody's got their cameras out, their green lights, their microphone. It's like someone on camera is filming someone with a camera, filming themselves being on camera with someone else on camera. It's like everybody is filming up there, right? So I'm like, you know what, man? It's Merab's first stream. Let me do something, help the guy out, right? Like, so I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna play up the meme of like guard pullers. So I pull guard. I'm on the floor waving my legs, going, Merab, get in my guard, Merab, like trying to play around because recently Larry Wheels said he could beat up anybody under 160 pounds. And then my teammates Kobe the Don and Justin James balled him up at Extreme Couture, and Larry Wheels was there. So this is all still relevant and fresh. It's like, can someone smaller wrestle someone bigger? Wrestling versus, like, you know what I mean? And so like this narrative is going of people grappling, take me down, win $1,000, all that. Giorgio was there. And so I'm playing off the opposite of it, which is like, get in my guard. So I'm doing that. And then Merab pulls up in my guard. We play around a little or whatever. I stand up. And then Merab is like, oh, don't like guard, do this. And then he goes to judo throw me. And I see the cameras, right? I'm like, this dude's, streaming. Let me make a scene. So I'm like, Merab, throw me. Even though it's on concrete, I know how to land, right? My uncle's Hulk Hogan. I'm from a professional wrestling background, right? My whole family pro wrestles. So I'm like, throw me, I'll break fall. I was like, I know how to break fall. And then so I actually said, I know how to land. I'm like, I know how to land. Merab, I know how to land. So Merab fucking throws me, boom, I break fall. It's all good. He goes and he throws an armbar on me. We're making a scene, right? It's called fucking streaming. Okay. And we're playing around, just having fun, just fucking around. And like if you guys go watch Merab's first live, which there's a lot of stuff on there that's pretty funny. You'll actually hear me because the mic picks it up, and I'm saying, throw me, I can land, right? And then Captain Eric pulls up, and this is where it gets clipped, right? Captain Eric's like, oh, bro, what are you doing, man? You said don't mess around. Because I pulled up with Nick Diaz and Dr. Octagon. Doc Ock owns Fight Circus. Okay, so that's who I pulled up with. And when we were in line previously, I'm there with Merab. It's me, Merab's camera guy, Nick Diaz. Everybody's chill. Dr. Octagon's there. We're saying what's up. Everybody's cool. And Captain Eric, Coach Eric's there. So what you don't see on the stream is we're all hanging out before we go in the event. And now, we're discussing that, like, hey man, these clip farmers are gonna try and clip us, right? They're gonna try and do crazy shit, and just know that Merab is a very, very famous and popular person. He might get pressed because someone's trying to get views, right? And we're all joking about that. And I'm like, yeah, man, these dudes don't realize, like, they don't want to press Merab or they don't want to press Nick Diaz. These aren't the dudes. And some of these guys don't even know who Merab and Nick Diaz are because they're so deep into the content creation. They're so deep into the influencer game that they only know each other. So someone could go, oh man, go sweat that guy. No, he's a fighter, man. Go do it, right? And they won't even know the level of danger that they're in. Plus, they're so far removed from danger that they don't know that they can't fight, right? So we're making jokes. We're talking about this before we walk in. So fast forward. I do the break fall on the concrete. We get up. We're laughing, blah, blah, blah. We're talking. Captain Eric comes over seeing this, and he's like, going to interject himself into the conversation, which is, hey, listen, that's what it is. That's the video. That's the streaming game. So he says, oh man, you were just the one that was talking about don't press Nick Diaz or don't press Merab. And in my head, I'm like, bro, you knew who I walked in with. Anyways, I'm like, oh yeah, man. Now I was telling Merab to jump in my guard. Because I think it's funny to pull guard on concrete, So, and Captain Eric's not getting that it's like a playful thing. And he's like, oh man, because don't press. And then he's like, Merab, I failed you. He's like, I'm supposed to be your security for tonight. And let's be real, Merab doesn't need the security. Okay. And so then this is where everybody's hitting me up, right? So I'm all the texts I'm getting and all the questions I'm getting asked are like, yo, was that dude trying to press you? Because everyone that knows me is like, and I'm not saying this, I'm just saying this is what people are saying to me. They're like, you would murder that dude. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, that guy doesn't fight. He's a coach, right? I respect coaches. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to sweat that dude. And everyone, because everybody's taking this is what happens when you have like a viral moment. Everyone sees the clip out of context and then immediately extrapolates the situation to what they think the context is, and then they pick a side based on that context. So while I'm up there, I've already previously talked to this dude. We're talking right there. There's cameras on. He may be playing it up for the camera. You know what I mean? He may be having Marab's back to try and show him he's got his back or whatever, right? Like there's no actual issue to my knowledge. You know what I mean? But people see the clip and they're like, yo, what's up with that? And it's an interesting look at how a clip can be in context seen one way, and then when it's just clipped, it's completely different. So yeah, that one's going around and people ask me about that. And I mean, shit, man. Maybe I know Coach Eric has wrestled before. Maybe you know what I'm saying. Maybe see me and him at RAF. You know what I mean. Maybe the virality ends up with me and him in a wrestling match and his rule set. You know what I'm saying. I know that guy's like I believe a is he a 3-time national champion or something like that? So he would have the advantage there because I wrestled like 6 weeks in 8th grade or something, right? So he would have the advantage. So maybe we'll hype up the clip and then we'll run it in that rule set or something. No telling what we might do. But yeah, man, I personally like the dude and I thought it was funny and I thought the clip was that's not the clip I expected to go, right? There's other clips with me with other people that didn't get as much engagement, but that one, for whatever reason, got some engagement, you know what I mean? So that was pretty interesting. And then, Merab has my back and he's like, bro, this dude could fucking fight, bro. Like, this is my boy, dog. And so Merab and I have had like, I don't know, we've sparred fucking 100 rounds or something together over the course of the last several years. And so he and I know each other pretty well. We've hung out socially outside of the gym. And yeah, shout out to fucking Captain Eric, man. He's in there getting in, having Marab's back. Shout out to that guy. And then there's another clip of me and Merab and Raul Rosas Jr., who I've trained with a ton. And Raul and I used to joke before Raul was on the Contender Series that he will be the youngest person to win Contender Series, and I'll be the oldest person to win Contender Series. And for a period of time, if you go on my Instagram, my number one pinned post is Dana White with me at the UFC PI, and Dana just told me to go on Contender Series. So like this was a very valid plan at the time. And Raul ended up doing it. He beat me to it. Shout out to Raul, and he got it done, and so I never made it to Contender Series, right? For a lot of reasons. And by a lot, I mean one. The reason is they're like, bro, you too old to be on Contender Series. Get the fuck out of here, dog. And I'm like, bro, I'm aging in reverse, dog. So so we have a history, right? I always considered Raul like we're like friendly. Like I like his dad, you know what I'm saying? He pulls up with his brothers. We've got a lot of rounds in together. And so we're talking and I don't really realize that they're streaming at this point. You know what I'm saying? But somebody has a camera because at this event, you literally, in hindsight, I'm like, yo, I'm seeing clips of me talking to people privately that got clip farmed. I guess everybody has a mic and a camera up there, right? And so then me, Raul, and Merab are hanging around. And like I remember one time Merab and I were grappling. And Merab's so fucking competitive, right? And I'm bigger than him and all that, right? You know what I mean? And you know, we're fucking around. Not a serious round. I catch him with something. Right. And so to troll him, I'm like, I'm never training with you again, bro. Not for 6 months, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, 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 let's go again. Let's go again. And it's not like he's mad or anything. He was just like, he wanted to go again. And now he wants to catch me, you know? But I'm like, yo, I'm not training with you fucking 6 months, dog. And so I'm telling Raul that, you know, and we're just having like a little like funny moment, you know, catching up. And there's a camera over here that clipped that, right? We got clipped again. So it's an interesting environment being with the Clippers, being with the streamers, and anything that you say up there, just assume that you are getting clip farmed. That's that's the actual play. So, anyways, those are the kind of bigger clips that are going around right now that I happen to be in. And then there's a real big clip going around of Ray J getting bopped up. Ray J got lumped up. He got his head lumped. And the problem with that is that would be fine, except Ray J is now hospitalized. So I hope Ray J gets better. I don't like his personality. Personally, he's not for me. I wouldn't like tune in to watch fucking Ray J do much of anything, honestly. I if he's got a streaming channel, I wouldn't tune in. You know what I mean? And that's not like fuck Ray J. It's just like he's not the dude who I would resonate with in terms of somebody I would want to view. But still, I don't want the dude to get hospitalized, right? So he got lumped up. He was talking all kinds of shit before the fight. And you know, you talk that shit, you got to back it up. He did not back it up. He got in there. He got in there, so we respect that. He made the walk. But he had announced previous to the fight that he had had heart conditions and heart problems, and he wasn't doing well. And uh, now that he's hospitalized, they're monitoring his heart, and he had like an elevated heart rate in addition to having a concussion, which is all bad. Ray J's claiming the fight was supposed to be fixed. Again, that's all bad. There's a video, I guess, that's been leaked, and I didn't look this up, but people are saying that the video got leaked of him saying that the fight is planned out. It's fixed, and that this dude went off plan, right? And Super Hot Fire went off plan. Now, that's like a fucking federal crime. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy to say that. Like this dude, I'm not a lawyer, but allegedly it seems like to someone who's not a legal expert, that a legal expert might think that he is incriminating himself in a federal fucking crime. So maybe he misspoke. Maybe he was playing around. Maybe he didn't mean what he said. Either way, Super Hot Fire appears to not have been with the illegal activities of fixing fights and bopped him upside his head. Anyway, allegedly, whether or not that's actually the case, that Ray J was trying to fix the fight, which I don't believe he was. I think he just misspoke and didn't understand what he was saying because, you know, he wouldn't commit a federal crime and then like go speak about that publicly, like on video, would he? That would be wild. So that's definitely not what happened. And yeah, we hope he gets better. We hope he gets out of the hospital. I hope he never fights again. Personally, I don't think that's the play. And you know, I hope his health conditions get better. But you know, a lot of these dudes have no business fighting, and I get that it's a spectacle, and I'm here for it. I'll watch the shit. You know, let them fuck each other up. You know, if they want to fuck around, they find out. But at the same time, like this is the problem. This is why there is an athletic commission that sanctions fights because Ray J disclosing he's got medical problems before the fight gets KO'd, gets concussed, and now his medical problems exacerbate and become worse due to the fight, that in a lot of ways could allegedly fall back on the commission for sanctioning the fight. There theoretically could be a lawsuit there as well. I'm not a legal expert. Don't quote me on that. But hypothetically speaking, that would seem like something that, you know, a fighter who's supposed to be protected by a governing body could potentially make a case for that they owe him, I don't know, a whole ass fucking bag because the United States or the Nevada state government is supposed to protect him from himself and not allow him to fight if he is medically flawed. So that's a big drama that's going on with Brand Risk. Also, Strickland bounced out. Another big drama. He's saying that this is the death of fucking MMA, like, or whatever, like America's failing because of influencers and this is the next generation. And So a lot of people are disgusted. A lot of people don't understand what's happening. Brendan Schaub crashed out, right? He doesn't like any of this. He doesn't like that it was at the UFC Apex. And I have thought about why this type of thing upsets people. Because it's one thing that it's just a fucking freak show and it's dumb as fuck. And we're just tuning in for some stupid fucking two dudes that don't know how to fight, swinging haymakers at each other and embarrassing themselves. And it's like, hey, you know what? That's pretty funny. I think what the issue is that they present themselves like they're badass fighters in a lot of ways. And it's almost like tangentially related to like stolen valor or like adjacent to it, where they don't have the right to act like badasses. They don't have the credentials. They don't have the track record. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the experience. They don't have anything. And now they're promoting themselves like they're some bad motherfuckers, and they're not. And then everybody is tuning in to see them as a freak show. They think that they're being some form of like serious, or like people are watching them because them. It's like, dude, any of you guys are interchangeable. People will watch two fat guys fighting over a piece of corn or whatever, right? You know what I mean? Like, the freak show is what people are tuning in for. It's not necessarily like so and so's fighting. Whereas in the UFC, for instance, when Strickland fights, people are tuning in to see Strickland. There's a lot of people that tune in to see that specific fighter because they rock with him and his story and his fucking heroic efforts. Whereas you can interchange a lot of these influencers with each other, and because they have big view counts, those aren't like necessary. The viewer isn't a fan, right? There's a difference. So a lot of views are generated by this sort of thing, but it's not necessarily like there's a lot of fans, right? Like Ray J doesn't have people who are fans of his fighting. He may have an audience because of his history. He's got a name, so people will tune in and view, but they wouldn't tune in as a fan. Whereas Strickland has fans because Strickland has a body of work and a story that people are fans of. So I feel like that's the big difference, and that's what Brendan Schaub was so upset and frustrated by, was that there's almost like a stolen valor of it all. Like, they don't have the right to fight in the UFC Apex. They haven't earned that. There's lots of fighters who have dedicated their entire lives, adult lives, and sometimes young lives, to getting better at martial arts. Like we were just talking about Raul Rosas Jr. He fought there when he was 17. He's trained his entire life. He's trained at the time. If he was 17, he had trained 17 years to fight there. And then some dude gets to fight there because he's a drug addict gambler, and he bets a lot of money and then asks people for loans or whatever, right? Like, so that could be upsetting to the legitimate fighters. And what people are getting fucking paid, they're getting, I'm not going to disclose my boy's pay, but I'm friends with one of the midgets, right? And that's what he likes to be called. Listen, listen, the head coach at Extreme Couture, Dennis Davis, fought Nate Diaz back in the day. And he told me today that that like the most he's ever been paid was similar to what the midget got paid in a fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how wild it is. That someone who's fully fucking credentialed, fighting up weight classes, fighting the best fucking people on the planet, right? That's the level of pay for that. And then because it's on a viral fucking clip farm show, this other dude gets paid more. And I understand the like, oh, well, this show generates a lot of views. This show generates, this guy has a big audience. He's got a following. He was in WWE. I understand all that. But that's the frustration of the martial arts purists, is feeling like, what's left in the world if purity can't be rewarded? We all got to pull our dick out on stream now? Put it in the mashed potatoes? Is that what you guys want to see? Is that what you guys want to see? You want us to dip our balls in the gravy for the views, swish it around, make a joke out of it, right? Or like, does the dedication of martial arts mean something over a lifetime? Which leads into the fighter pay problem, because the only reason anybody's even entertaining in this shit, as in terms of like, let's say Arman, who's essentially the number one contender for the UFC lightweight title, why is he streaming? Because he feels it's the only way he can get a title shot is to get more popular, right? So there's other guys that are streaming. You know, Merab's talking about he's going to take a little break from fighting. Well, of course he's going to stream because the streaming pays. Rampage Jackson is making more money streaming than he did in his entire career as an MMA fighter, and he was a UFC world champion. So when people are like, "Oh man, this content creator, this influencer shit is bullshit," it's like, it's disgusting. It's what's wrong with America. Well, honestly, a lot of people are turning to that because it's paying better than fighting is. And while we all love fighting, a lot of us have realized that content pays more. So if you want to get paid, you got to do content. It's literally like, and it's not us, because we all care. We care about martial arts. But the powers that be don't care about martial arts. They'll pay someone who's literally never fought MMA before way more money to fight MMA because they've got a fucking Instagram following, or they got a TikTok account, or they do TikTok dances, and the TikTok dancer is going to fight the guy who put his dick in the mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a guy with no neck up there, bro. That's the dude's famous for not having a neck. And now we're supposed to sit around and go like, "Oh shit, dude, we're gonna not stream. We're gonna stay true to, you know, um, the purity of martial arts." Well, how the fuck do we do that when these motherfuckers do not pay you to fight? Guys, if you knew what some of my teammates, who are excellent, fucking excellent, I'm good at talking shit. You know what I mean? I can fight, but I can also talk shit. So I'm in a different category of payment. But there's dudes on my team that are so fucking good at martial arts, and they're fighting for like 1,000 and 1,000. Like 1,000 to fight, 1,000 to win, and they're fighting another really fucking good guy. Like, really good. And these promoters don't give a fuck, bro. And then we get into this like, "Oh shit, why the fuck is Armand streaming? Why the fuck?" Well, like, because it's being rewarded. And you know what's not being rewarded? Being the best fucking martial artist and shutting the fuck up. So, you know, I even see with the Strickland walking out thing, which I definitely see why he walked the fuck out. I was there, and it was like, I'm trying to like do content, you know? He's a UFC world champion. We're like, he doesn't need to do content, even though he does content, but he just does it in a different way. But like, this was like dumb fucking retarded stunts for the sake of doing dumb shit. Like, embarrassing, like someone will embarrass themselves on stream for the sake of views, right? Where like Strickland will be outspoken because he believes something, and then that authenticity turns into content. Does that make sense? Like, there's a distinction. One is like being authentic and happening to get views. The other one is being inauthentic for the sole reason of generating views. And I think this is a distinction not a lot of people are seeing or realizing why it's such a disgusting feeling for so many people. Is that lack of authenticity just for the views, where someone else might get 3 million views, but they did it from a place of authenticity for a reason. Like, if Strickland speaks out, whether you agree with what his political take or not, right? He's genuinely like hoping for the best, and he's being unfiltered about it, and then that goes viral. Whereas somebody else is going like, hey, what can I do to go viral? Can I put my balls in the gravy? Can I wiggle my balls around? You know what I mean? Like, is and then there's one dude. He's trained martial arts and he's not good. But he had got and I can't even say the name of the type of account, but it's if like you turned on a fan and that was the only thing you did, and it's a spicy link. He had an account like that. And his thing was talking bad about himself and pouring milkshakes on his head. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's disgusting behavior. So I understand why Strickland walked the fuck out, and I understand why Brendan Schaub is outraged because it's people being rewarded for being disingenuous, for doing shit that is bad. And by the definition of bad, I mean, if they do it, it has a negative effect, but it's an isolated negative effect. But if everyone did it, all fucking society would collapse. So it's not a sustainable behavior. That's what I mean by bad, right? So if something is good in the mean, it's good in the extreme, right? Like if everybody was kind to each other, well, that act of kindness is good. So in the extreme, if everyone did that, everyone would be all good. So the same thing of like, uh, let's say stealing somebody's purse on stream because that's fucking gonna get me views, right? Well, if everybody did that, society collapses. That's why that behavior is bad, right? It's inherently bad, but some of the more subtle things that like embarrassing oneself or like being intentionally rude or pressing somebody for no reason just to get views, all those things are bad. And it's like, well, why is it bad? It's getting views, man. And it's like, no, it's bad because if everybody did it, that we'd be fucked, right? So if it's bad in the extreme, it's bad in the mean. You get what I'm saying? We got Cameron Williamson in the chat. He said, let's go, King. Hey, man, guys, uh, go check out Cam. He's got a movie out. God, you see what I'm saying, guys? I'm telling you guys, you're in good company. He's got a fucking movie out. It's called Day of the Fight. You know what I'm saying? It's on Amazon. You could go stream it. After you hop off this, hop on there, right? It's got like huge stars like fucking Joe Pesci and shit in it. It's a real legitimate movie, right? It's an actual situation. And while I was backstage at Brand Risk, I saw Steve Will Do It, and Cam fucks with Steve Will Do It, guys. So, like, it's a fucking full circle thing. You know what I mean? Anyways, let me take a sip of this caffeine. We're going to get right back into it. Listen, this whole thing is getting crazy. Dana rented them the UFC Apex. We're going to get into that, how much it was, all that. I got a breakdown. Hold on. Delicious. Cam is the one that actually put me on to putting these in the freezer. And I'd never had a poppy soda. And Cam was living in a place called The Garden with UFC star Johnny Parsons, who I used to live with Johnny Parsons at The Garden. And when I bounced, Cam moved in. And then he was like, yo, man, you tried this? I'm like, what's that? And he pulled two poppy sodas out of the freezer and it tasted like a slushie. And I said, man, from now on, I'm drinking fucking colas out of the freezer. So shout out to Cam for that. Let's go. All right. And then Dana White rented out the UFC Apex to Brand Risk and Aiden Ross for 1.5 million. And that has Brendan Schaub triggered over the same reason we were just discussing, which is that these dudes don't deserve to be at the UFC Apex, right? And so it's like in Brendan Schaub's eyes, it's doubly disrespectful that like he believes fighters should be paid more. He believes that Dana should give a fuck. Dana, in his eyes, clearly doesn't give a fuck, right? And then Dana adds insult to injury by renting out the UFC Apex to fucking Aiden Ross and Brand Risk, right? But like I get his side, right? He's not thinking of it like that. He's not like intentionally trying to disrespect the legacy of MMA or anything. He's got a venue, right? They charge if you want to rent it. This dude pulled up with money. Hey, well, why don't we do it here? this will be good publicity for the UFC, right? Every single person here gets millions and millions of views. It doesn't hurt for the UFC brand to be all over it. And this fucking clown shoe ass freak show will help build my legitimate martial arts brand, which is the UFC, where the best fighters on the planet fight to see who is the literal best fighter. So there's two sides to it, right? We got the disgusting behavior, the gratuitous fucking bullshit for the sake of view count. And then we also have the like, hey man, if they're going to be doing that anyway, they can promote our real brand. So sometimes people have a particular feeling about me doing pro wrestling style promos after I win fights, where I get on the mic, I call out the crowd, beers getting thrown at me. Oh, bro, you shouldn't do that, man. You should just thank your team. Well, first of all, I'm making people care when I fight. But second of all, because I'm going viral, I'm bringing attention to Ignite fights, where I had by far the most viral fucking moment of this entire thing. And now I can put the other fighters who get known because Ignite fights gets known, they get more shine. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's probably the marketing angle that Dana looked at it for. Plus, he got paid 1.5 million. And now if you are in the chat and you want to turn down 1.5 million, you're a better man than fucking most of us, okay? Even though he's rich, he's like, listen, man, you want to pay me? Okay. like, what are we supposed to do? Dana's supposed to say, no, we can't have that here. No, I'm not going to have fucking unlimited publicity and $1.5 million to watch people I know personally scrap, who Dana is allowed to have friends. He's allowed, like, what, is he not allowed to have those guys over at his house? And if they wanted to fight in the backyard, is he not allowed to go like, oh shit, there's a fight going on in the backyard, right? Like, so this is his backyard. Is he not allowed to do that? Like, before we start judging, we got to understand that, like, 1.9 million, 1.9 million. Let me check the chat. Okay, buddy. The world has norms. Make your money. I'm a norm. Follow him because I heard your shit on Jesse Talk the Sport and 3:20 a.m. Maybe earlier. Good shits though. Hey, what's up? What's up? Let's go. Gus Callen in the building. We got Cameron Williamson. We got the UFC, the real deal. Then we have Aiden Ross, the Ultimate Cringe Show, shitbag fights. I guess they really do complement each other. Yeah, so listen, bro. I'm going to keep it real, man. I would fight on brand risk. You know what I mean? I mean, like, they would have to pay me, obviously, but there's a scenario where they're like, hey, you're pretty good at talking on a microphone. Do you want to fight a shitbag who's famous for putting his dick in the mashed potatoes? We'll pay you 10 times what you got paid to fight for that belt against a 10 times easier guy. And then you have to, like, have a moral fucking question. And you go like, dude, is it morally right for me to slap this? And then, you know what I mean? Like, am I going to slap this guy up for a bag? And then part of you starts talking to yourself in your head. And this is the point I got to. I'm doing that guy a favor. Because me slapping him up is going to help him. He's either going to get dedicated to martial arts and go, this can't stand, I can't be this helpless against another man, or he's going to get the fuck out of MMA. You know what I'm saying? And go back to his day job, which I believe is what happened to Ray J. I don't think Ray J is going to fight again, guys. He got a fucking, he got a, the little, he got a fucking tumor on his head, man. Ray J got slept. Same. They probably do have some money. Bro, listen, I know the midget from there. He competed in Fight Circus. They paid him, like, he got paid way more than a lot of people we know that are really good. Super Hot Fire is underrated. Yeah, I didn't know anything about the dude till I saw him at the press conference. The press conference was a shit show. You know what I mean? They were giving the mic to, like, real reporters. And then the real reporter would ask a question, like a serious, like, "Hey, Ray J, so what have you been doing to train? Because your opponent says he's going to keep it standing with you. Have you been focusing on your ground game and have you been working your takedowns?" And then Ray J's like, "No, I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna whoop his ass and don't be talking about my like." It was just like, "Don't talk about my kids. Don't talk about." And then like his demeanor was like he gets mad, so that's why he's gonna win the fight. Like, cause I get mad. You don't know me. Like that kind of like anger will fuel him to win. And then the next one will come up is a streamer. So it's like one serious MMA guy who's very serious and asking Ray J serious questions. And then the next one is like some streamer and going like, "Hey man, uh Ray J, I heard a rumor that you hooked up with Kim again after Kanye did. How's Kanye's dick taste?" Oh, right. And then it's like, so that was like the press conference. You know what I'm saying? The press conference was fucking shit show. But that's the first time I saw a super hot fire up there. And he was funny, man. He was trolling Ray J. That was good shit. And then so I had trained with Ryder, who performed at Fight Circus. He's a midget. That's what he likes to get called. That's not my words. That's his words. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? We're using his pronouns the way he wants or whatever, right? And so he had never trained MMA. And he had taken the fight, and then that was like a few days ago. And the fight's coming up in a day. And he's like, "What should I do? Like, what should my game plan be?" And we're in Extreme Couture. We sparred. Okay. So he's 4'7", and he and I sparred. He sparred Dr. Octagon. He brought his coach, who's a blue belt, who's been training for 1.5 years up there. And by coach, I mean his boy that he knows that trains martial arts, that like that's the only guy he knows. You know what I'm saying? So he contacted him. They pull up to XC, and yeah, so I'm over there sparring him, and we're discussing like his game plan. And his game plan is he's fighting the world's strongest dwarf. But the world's strongest dwarf has, this is Ryder's words, like a longer torso than Ryder does. Ryder, in the not tall people community, he believes he's got one of the better body types. He says in that community that there's a lot of surgeries that happen and a lot of like body disproportions. So Ryder believes he's got a very proportion. He's never had surgeries, all that. He's got some of the best legs in the game. That's what he told me. "I got some of the best games in the legs. Yeah, I got some of the best legs in the game, coach." I said, "Okay, well, we could work with that." Right. And so the game plan was, because this is the limited information I got. I'm pulling up to the gym. Hey, Ryder's gonna pull up. Okay, what's going on? Oh, he's got a fight on Brand Risk. When is the fight? A day, 2 days, whatever, right? Like, okay, we'll see where he's at. So he pulls up. I don't know anything about his opponent, and then he tells me that he's fighting the world's strongest dwarf. And I go, okay, well, listen, if the dude's really strong, he's gonna use strength, and he's gonna overemphasize on strength rather than efficiency. So there's a scenario, Ryder, where you're a pro wrestler, because he wrestles at no, it's called Mini Mania, and it's people who aren't tall all wrestling, right? You got to be under like 4'8" or something, whatever it is. But it's all these, like they got 25 Cent up there, they got everybody, right? Um, and so I was like, listen, you run back and forth in the ring, you're used to moving bodies around, you're used to jump, so it's like a physical activity. So if you breathe and you stay efficient and you don't get finished, this dude's going to overemphasize his strength and he's going to burn himself out. Now, that was the information I had at the time, but I was given incomplete information. So it's hard to make an informed decision without the accurate information. So later, we pull up to the fucking press conference and I'm hanging out. It's me and Nick Diaz, Dr. Octagon, and a bunch of like streamer dudes. Funny guys, like legit funny motherfuckers, right? And so then next thing you know, we see Matt Brown. And Matt Brown is involved with Fight Circus as well. So he comes over, he's talking to Doc Ock. Doc Ock introduced me to Matt Brown, you know what I mean? And we're chopping it up. And I'm like, "Oh Matt, man, who are you here with?" And he's there with Ryder's opponent. And I'm like, "What, bro? You're with the fucking world's strongest dwarf?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "He trains?" He's like, "Bro, he's been training with me forever." And I was like, "Dang, man, Ryder's cooked." Ryder's fucking cooked. But Ryder, see, look, but then the body types got into it because there's a point where he's in an arm bar and the dude's legs don't reach. So the arm bar's ineffective. And then the dude put him in the guillotine, but his hands don't connect. So the guillotine was ineffective, right? So then Ryder survived this, got on top, started landing ground and pound. And we're talking midget on midget MMA. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. It's a reversal. It's another reversal. And he's in a submission. Can he get out? Oh, shit. The body types don't work the way that tall people body types work. I know, I'm like unintentionally mogging. You know what I'm saying? I noticed it too. But anyways, and so because of this, his body type theory was actually accurate. But the problem is the other guy was too trained. So even though there were points where Ryder could get on top and land some vicious ground and pound, the other dude was trained and he knew to get up on a single wrestle up fucking reverse, right? So that's what happened in that fight. And it's crazy. I mean, if you guys see the meme, he's in an armbar and the dude's feet don't go across and he's tickling his fucking feet. It's like, shout out to those guys. Ryder wants to fight again. He's in talks with one of the big managers in the game, one of the big power players in the game, Richie DiPaolo, about booking a fight soon. He might take a short notice fight June 5th in California. No telling what might happen. Let me read the chat. Money, Manziel, the John Manziel. Yep, Arpin, I agree. Cameron Williams said, it's very entertaining, honestly. Bob was washed up. Johnny Manziel. We are in 2026. I'm not even surprised anymore. Richie, the power player. Yeah, the big guy is booking the mini fights. So hopefully that fight pops off June 5th. We get a fucking another mini MMA match. So that's what's popping off. Merab and I got clip farmed. So if you guys see the clip, that's the backstory. If you didn't catch the backstory because you popped on, start the live at the beginning. Watch from there. You get the whole story, man. Anyways, guys, make sure you tap the notification bell. It'll feel good. It'll change and it'll say, do you want all notifications? You say yes. Why? Because I go live at different times every night. I go live every day, but it's always different. Right? So no telling what I might do. I might pop on at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Right now it is 12:01. So anyways, if you like the video, like the video. If you're a real one, you already know, get a real one shirt. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, King David MMA, and you follow Fight Circus at Fight Circus, because we're talking freak show fights. You want to see the freakiest fights of all. You want to see a level of cringy characters and degeneracy deeper than what we saw at Brand Risk. You want to see something even riskier than the brand, you go to see Fight Circus, okay? You can see people with different pronouns fighting each other. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Hit the bell. Cameron Williamson, you already know. Bang the bell and turn on notifications, guys. And then also, if you see this after I pop off right now, you want to leave a comment, I respond to all my comments. You know why? Because I'm going to do that until the channel gets too big to where I can't do that anymore. Also, man, we got super chats available. So if in the future, I forgot to mention that today, I just got enabled for super chats. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here vibing, guys. I'm not about all that. I'm not trying to nickel and dime everybody. But for those of you that do enjoy doing that, you can do that. Gus Callan says, take that money. Dude, I didn't know that the mini MMA scene was so big in Russia. I was talking to Ryder about it. We went and got Good Pie, and we had a business meeting. Me, him, and Richie, the big guy, and we're making plays. And they're talking about, they were literally talking about that the move is to go to Russia with the mini MMA. So yeah, bro, you called it. I appreciate you guys for hopping on the chat, and I will see you tomorrow. Let's freaking go.